So we're now ready to set up our scene for rendering, finally. Before we continue, however, I would like to repeat one pro tip. Don't try to just, when you learn this type of modeling and rendering materials, etc., don't try to do something out of your imagination. That might look like a great challenge, but it's going to eat a lot of your time. There's no shame in, like what we did here, finding a simple object, ideally with a photo, and then just rebuilding it and using also the photo to study how the materials look, how the lights work, to understand, well, where in this photo, in real world, they position the lights. That's simply effective learning. And there's really no shame to that. It's not that you copy or take shortcuts. We're not designing something, we're learning how to do something on our own. And for that, you need to develop a vocabulary. And it's like learning a language. You're not jumping in writing a nice essay. You need to study the words and how to write simple sentences first. Okay, with all that said, let's continue. So we will use this as a reference. So all the other stuff I will turn off. Actually, this can go in there. Don't need this particular thing here. Bonk. Okay. So first thing is we have a white background. Okay, so let's make a plane. Ground, very good. This is quite big. Tab S, scale down. The background here we design two. E and Z, maybe bring this back a little bit. This edge we want to bevel. We can do the bevel command. 20 segments. Yeah, okay. In object mode, shade smooth. This should be a nicely glossy material, so we will make this reflective, roughness down to 0. Okay, we also need a camera, so Shift A camera, there it is. Let's go local, bring this back, change all the rotations here to 0 so we know where our camera is. Okay, so along X we need to bring it over 90. With S I can scale the icon down, move this one up, and here right click on this, vertical split, so I have my 2-view interface back. This is my active camera, so I go into this view. There we are. Then this will be 1000 by 500. Oh, no. 600 by 1000. 800. Okay, a little bit further back. A little bit up. There. So now I can see actually the top more. And the camera I will shift down. Okay. I can bring this in a little bit closer. Actually, we can do this here. Adjusting this, so we're zooming in more. Cool. Okay, super easy, no? Nice and comfortable. We will first work with lights off, also save, and then here let's turn the lights on so we can see everything. Now we can actually see here there's a gradient, so maybe this idea what I had here with the backdrop might actually maybe not work as good. Well, we'll see. So first let's add, if we take a look at the light, the reference image here. So what do we see? Light source, light source, light source. So 3. 1 in the front, 2 to the left. Okay. So here's my area light. Bring this, make this a little bit smaller. Then I can rotate this along Y minus 90. And bring this to the side. Oh, look at that. Bring this up. See, based on where I position this, I can draw the highlight over the whole object. And you see it goes from there down to there. When I get closer, further away, take a look at how actually the highlight changes its shape and covers various areas. This is currently just a rectangle. So maybe we have to play with the light shape. Make this a rectangle, and then we can make this maybe more narrow as needed, and we can make this taller as needed. And you see this interesting bends here now, so that is kind of like what we have there. Cool. Okay. Maybe a little bit like this. So this light is now here. We can maybe clean this up a little bit so that these values are easy to replicate. So let me go to there. So this will be 70, and then here, okay, 100. Cool. I would like to make a copy of this. So Alt D, RZ 180. So I made a clone copy, rotated it on the position. And now the trick is here, the X has to be positive. Plop. Then it goes to the opposite side. Again, where X and Y meet, this is the 0 point. Okay, man, now that starts actually to take a little bit of shape. Might have to adjust the position of the feet later, as I just noticed. So now we can do the front light. Maybe this one, Shift D, not Alt D in this case. I will bring this X to 0. Then I would like RZ rotate this to, looks like -90. So this has to be 90 in my case. Then I can bring this back. And there you see, there's this front reflection. Pretty cool, no? Okay. Want to try something out. I will select this light, Shift D, R and Y this way. So this would be, I'll rotate along Y 90 degrees. X will be 0. And GZ, move this one up. Yeah. See how I'm connecting these pieces here? So there is actually something also happening there. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, cool. So maybe hide this for the moment. Now then we have a black background and we can really cleanly see our object. So compared to the image, what's wrong? Well, the lights are way too strong. So let's select this one and say 5. Ooh, tilt too strong. 3. Okay, so that means maybe you 2. And this one 2. Do I need it? Maybe. Okay. See also there's actually nearly a very sharp reflection on it. Let's go to the plastic. So plastic transparent. So this is very clean. So we can make this reflection a little bit more soft there by adding a little bit of roughness to it. Cool. This plastic here looks good. there? So for the bump pattern, yeah. So now there we would like to bring in a little bit more detail. Now you see that's kind of coarse. So we know to do this, now we can do this via bump mapping and with the cloud. So Shift A, texture, where is it? Noise. Shift A, input texture coordinate, object to there. Shift A, convector bump. Still, let's do a quick look this way so we can establish the scale. 500, no, definitely too big. 2000, yep. So then this goes to there. Strength 0.01, normal to there. Way too strong. Okay, maybe actually this is too big. There, gets better. Yeah. So we can select all those, Control C, copy, go to our plastic bump pattern, Control V, well, we just paste it in. And whoops, connect it. Pretty cool, no? There. See, then actually it really starts to get a more interesting look. Now here's a little trick I will show you now. If you would like to fine-tune this work a little bit. So now we have two different materials, bump and bump pattern, where we have this bump texture in it. If I adjust it in one material, I have to adjust in a different material. Ideally, I want to adjust this one time. So what I will do is I will select these three, and then I press Control G, or no, do we have a command here? Control, yeah, Apple or Apple G, make a group. So what's a group? We'll show you. So properties, and this is all good. Press Tab to leave this node group. And then we call this one bump lob. Okay. I will go now here to this material, select all this, delete it, Shift A and go to group, and there's my bump group. Flop, put it in there. So this is when I press tab, I can edit this group and I can then adjust this group. And you see this group is actually shared between two different materials. So we can create intralinks basically. This is a technique that is super useful when we want to make sure things are always the same. We can, for example, do the same also with the color. So Control C here for the color, Shift A, input RGB there, Control V, drag this one to there, and then we select this, Control G, tab, and then here we can call this plastic color. Go to this one. Shift A, group plastic color. Plug this in. When we select this and change this, there. Oh, awesome. Welcome to nodes. That can be confusing at the beginning, but honestly, as you can see, the flexibility you get is really significant. Okay, nice. I will select the camera and then turn my passbot 2 on more to 0. This is all good so far. I would like to see what happens when I put a light behind everything. So I select this light, Shift D and escape. Move this to here. Oh, you see I can get a nice reflection there on top. Where is the shape there? I'll go back maybe to 800 by 800, just a rectangle, and see by moving this light around what I can magically make appear on it. Oh, look how this looks beautiful there. So this is basically how the camera takes a look at the object, and via physics, the reflection, what it would see. What happens when I rotate this? Oh, look what's going on behind the thing. So let's take a look at the reference photo. See, this is dark, and then there's a reflection. Okay, so RX 90 minus there, very good. Maybe bring this down a little bit so it's not too much on it, more on the sides. Okay, what about when I adjust the size here? Yeah, I want this actually to be more on the bottom. Yeah, so I can maybe keep it this way. 600 by 400, 700, yeah. Bringing it closer or further away can also help. Maybe a little bit weaker, 1.5. Cool. Now I don't know if actually this top thing here is really needed. Maybe I take this off. And all those G and Z, maybe bring them up a little bit more. Yeah. Well, so we can tinker with this a little bit more. The color of this plastic seems to be too dark. Now the question is, what can I do here to help? So it's not necessarily the roughness. What about the reflectivity? By the way, even the value here, let me do this one more time for completion's sake. Value. So flop. No, 0 or 1. In there. Okay. Control G. Tab. This then we call specular. Go to the plastic bump. Yeah. Shift A. Plug this in. So the only downside is now if to adjust it, we have to go into the group, but it's not really so difficult. There. And then Shift A, value there, bring this to there for the roughness. Control G, tab, roughness. Yeah, cool. Now the color, maybe I can make this darker. This whole thing right now is a tick too bright for me, and this is all pretty dark. So I need to try to figure out when I press H, okay, and H, okay. So you see there is something with the reflectivity that's happening that makes the whole thing a tick too bright. First, before we continue here, I don't really like this highlight here in the backdrop. No? So I will select this one and push this really back. Well, let's see what happens when I select these two and push this back. A, S and X. Yeah, So the problem you see there now right now is I get a reflection on there, which means with this trick of having this in the background and then wanting to have the reflection there, that seems not really to work. So this is actually my bent backdrop. And now what you're seeing is pretty much like what I go through too when I want to render something and then figure out, okay, now how can I try to design my shot? You never always know. It is sometimes a matter of trying it out. So I will make this actually simply diffuse. The color I give actually will show up in the rendering. Okay, no. So let's actually see what happens when we make this dark. Yeah, maybe actually. So it's a question if do we even want to make this white? Can we just keep it black? Because the reflection we saw on the ground, maybe that's something we do actually in Photoshop. I went back to select these 3 feet because I don't like where this one is. Switch to the 3D cursor, Shift S cursor to world origin, RZ 45 degrees, RZ 90. Okay, how much do I have to rotate this? So this looks, so these two should go to there. So RZ 180 there. Ah, and they're just barely stick through. Yeah, okay. Shall it be that way? Let's save. Let's do a quick check with cycles, how this looks. Is there a significant difference? No, actually it looks pretty much in a very similar way. Again, now to show you how useful actually Eevee is. With the backdrop, how does this look? Also there we get the same problem. So let's keep it this way for the moment. Go back to Eevee. And this is actually our ground plane. Let's hide this for the moment. So, what do we do now? We need to get this darker. So maybe the lights are simply still too strong. 1. Better. 1. And yeah, this is 1. What about the size? Maybe 150. Now you see that it's actually a smaller strip. I get more a dark area in there. Showing and hiding it. Okay. This maybe can be a little bit wider. You see also the wider it gets, then the weaker the light, because it's the same light energy spread over bigger areas. So this means this can be a tick brighter now. Yeah. Okay, cool. Control S to save. And let's do a quick rendering and see how this works. So all this is turned on. This is all good, 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 good. We can go to our light management and film here. Oh, film, we turn to transparent. So we have a transparent background. And then here the look, let's see, high contrast. Oh, this helps a lot. And then you see there's kind of like a gray film over it. Medium contrast, high contrast. In this case, maybe very high contrast. Yeah, that makes it nicely pop. Okay, good. This light here in the back, definitely too strong. 0.5. Whoa. 1, 1.5, 1.25. Yeah. Maybe we bring this a little bit closer. Just trying to see if I can, yeah, actually bring this more over there. And what happens when I move this one down? I'm trying to pay attention to the top area. Okay. So it means the light does not have to be that tall. So 400. But maybe the light can be wider. Oh, look that gap I get there. Like we have inside the reference photo. Okay, cool. And it also creates a really nice detail here. Last thing to try out, Shift D, bring this one to here and rotate it. I still want to see what happens when I bring something on top. This is Y, so let's make this really narrow. Yeah, this looks terrible. Delete. That's okay. And but also this is kind of unfortunate. So here, Alt D R X, sorry, Alt D Escape R 90. Then this goes to X0 and GZ up. So we bring this on top till the edges ideally line up a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. When I bring this a little bit high, a little bit lower, you see I'm actually pulling this closer to there, and then these here, I can select GZ and move down. You see how the ends then line up better? Yeah, okay. We don't have to perfect everything in rendering. We can also go into Photoshop and touch up a few things. Now, keep that in mind. So let's go to the plastic. That's the last piece maybe to quickly take a look at. Alpha is a little bit too strong, so maybe 0.5. Plastic also has a color. That is good. There's a certain roughness to the reflection. We can increase this a little bit more to make this maybe less to hide some of the inaccuracies. Again, it's just with rendering, this is about trickery, trying to create an illusion. The super glossy plastic here, glossy is, oh yeah, it has a little roughness to it. You see, just a notch. Very good. Where do we have the logo? A glossy logo there. Okay, so we have exactly the same. Good. Yeah. The feet are there. I'm curious now when we move the camera. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, we could. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Maybe the way how this model, the feet simply don't stick out that much. That's just the way how it is. That's fine. Let me show you a little thing where we do sometimes in furniture presentation. Okay, we don't see it enough. You know what? Nobody knows. Let's move it down more. Totally inaccurate. It's totally wrong. But oh, in this presentation, feet. Perfect. Now, this is not for engineering. This is more like making a demo. And come on, I mean, take a look at this image now. Huh? It starts to really actually look pretty good. That's safe. Let's go to here. Can we do something with bloom? Not a big fan of all these crazy things. All the settings here are good for our beginning needs. Image size, output, 6 by 800. Let's render my poor 2013 computer. Oh, what's going on? Stuff is missing. Okay, the rest is good, but where is the other stuff? So this one here. Oh, render flag is turned off. Ta-da! Look at that render time. 2.5 seconds. Pretty cool. Let's press J. And then we go to cycles. Just for comparison, we do an adaptive sampling, denoise. We do after 30. We do a little bit shorter rendering, so 30. Actually, hold on. Here, open image denoiser. Yeah, good. Let's see. Now, so with when we use a lower sample setting, 30 is brutally low. A lot of the fine plastic bump details will be washed out. And you can even see here there are some issues. But actually we can then get a quick preview how this thing would look like when we would use the more photorealistic engine to render. And yeah, this actually doesn't look too bad, no? Down here, this is not ideal. I would like to have maybe a little bit of a reflection. So how can I do this? Let's go back to here, turn maybe on the ground plane. The ground plane now we will make white. So it can show up. Does it actually really color it? Yeah, it does a little bit. Good. So I will actually, hold on, I make this red again because I would like to show you a little trick. So we're trying to magically show something on the ground, a reflection on the plastic, no? Okay. In the Photoshop, we compose and then put the mirror reflection under it. Oh, we don't have to be physically accurate and create this thing where it is. We can also simply I'm trying to see how there you can see when I bring this in, how actually it starts adding a little bit of red to this area. And we make this white. No, there you see it. Okay. The reason why I'm just moving this around because I just want to have more artistic control on the reflection on the bottom. Yeah. Good. So let's do a quick check. There of this. And there. So then here, we don't want this thing to show up. Yeah, it does add a little bit down here. This right now looks really dim. That's more because this white area there is gone. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I would say our scene pretty much is ready for the last piece after rendering, compositing, and making this thing ready for being put into a presentation with a white background in the next video.